If you are in a rebuild season, this episode will give you clarity on what actually matters now because you're not starting from zero. You don't have to learn everything again, but rebuilding your business with higher standards, more sophistication, and a backend that can actually carry you into 2026 and beyond, doing all of the work that is needed to build your legacy and to build wealth for generations to come. This episode is perfect when you are in this season where you're either building an entirely new business, but you have built a big business before, or you're just rebuilding your business. This is for this exact era. Rebuilding a business takes a lot. But the truth is, when you've done it once, there are so many things you've already really good at and that you already understand. You have probably good clarity on where you're at. You understand offers, you understand the offers you want to build, you understand funnels conceptually, you understand so many things. And you've seen also what worked for you and your business in the past and what didn't, and what you want to bring in with you and what you absolutely do not want to. And that's why I want to be really clear here today, like really bring this even extra layer of clarity, because you are not starting from zero. Okay, I see you. You are absolutely not a beginner. And the idea that when we rebuild, we start from scratch is just not true. You know who you are, you know your message, you know your standards, and you know what you are creating. So if I were rebuilding my business today and setting it up for 2026 and also all the years in the future, here's exactly what I will focus on now, today. The first thing, and I'm going to share 3 different things, and they are all really linked together. The first thing I will do is define my standards. I will not really focus on my goal. I will refine my standards. What is the standard I want to be playing at? What is the level of experience that I want people to have in my world? Meaning, when they come and in my entire front end world, my content, my social media, all of everything that is at the front that people can see, what is this experience that they're going to have? But also in the back end, as soon as they start coming into something, what is the experience I want them to have? What is the standard? How do I want them to feel when they go through also my offers as a micro offer buyer, but also as a high ticket buyer? What is the journey? The front end journey and the back end journey. Do I want something basic that does the job? And you can probably hear in my very sarcastic Frenchy tone. Or do you want something that really feels intentional, intelligent, and world-class? And I bet it's the last one. Because for me, it's the last one. And every single woman I talked with, everyone is leading with even more intention than they have done in the past. Everyone wants their business to be intelligent, to be sustainable, but to also be world class, to be a really good experience. Not because of, and I don't see world class as like, let's be fancy. And I love everything fancy, to be honest, but this is not the point here. The point is to really be so high, to really want the best for us, but also want the best for the people who are in our world, and not seeing them as consumers, as buyers, but as real people going through a real experience with us. So for me, this means a backend that responds to behavior, and even like a front end, to be honest, but like I want to really focus here on the backend and looking at what is someone behavior meaning and how can I adapt to this. And I'm saying this because a lot of people are like, oh, this person clicked on the link, so here are the 10 emails that they're going to receive. And I'm like, yes, and that's cool, yeah, but it's also basic. It's also basic because today we can do a lot more. And I'm not saying that it has to be complex. Actually responding to behaviors is not complex, but it is intentional. And if you don't have the intention and the vision, and I'm going to talk about that also today, then of course all of this will sound so strange and so foreign and so into the how. How do I do it? Let's not talk about the how just yet. How is easy. I can teach you all the how that you want. But The how here is not the question. Question is your intention. And so when someone comes into your world, how can you be really of service and serving this person? So when they go through whatever they're going through in the front end, maybe you have a launch or what you're selling in your content, but also in your back end, how can this be based on what people actually open, what people have already bought from you, and how long people have you been in your world? A backend that feels like a real conversation. How can we build something that is not just something that feels like it's sent to everyone, something that feels personal? This is where things like behavior-based triggers matter. Okay, and again, not because it's just fancy, but because they do create an experience that feels personal and intelligent. And this is you. You want this personal connection with your dreamy clients, not like anyone, but just your dream clients. You want to build a connection with them. And that's why also you resonate with the word community-based businesses, where we serve our community and we are served at the same time, where it is an ecosystem where we are all serving each other. And this is also something that I see so much with all of the clients that I'm serving, is that every single person I'm serving, scaling to multi seven figures, is really a genius in what they are doing. They are genius in what they're doing, and I'm a genius in what I'm doing. And it is actually together that we are building world-class experiences, world-class worlds and services. And it is not about seeing essentially what we are missing, but seeing everyone. And that's why like the community aspect for me is so important, seeing everyone in their genius. And it's the same with our clients, looking at our clients with the genius that they have already in them. So if I was rebuilding my business, I would not be slapping together something that I feel is good enough, something that like, oh yeah, like this is let's just put 5 emails together and do this. I would be building something that matches the level I want, not even just to play now, actually, but the level that I want to be playing at. And when I look at right now, I'm recording this in December 2025, thinking already of, is this matching the level I will be playing at in December 2026? And of course, that goes on with our front end strategies, but our front end strategies are a little bit more or a lot more short end. They're a bit more on the short spectrum of having an experience, compared to building something in your backend can last for years. I have automations, funnels, and invisible strategies paying me 4 to 5 figures every single month that I have set up in 2020. The exact same thing, the exact same course. I have not changed anything. And stuff that I don't talk about at all in my front end, because everything that I'm building is very intentional, but also because I'm building a legacy, I'm building wealth. I'm not looking at a quick cash injection. And everything is done with a lot of intention. So this is really my first point here, okay? Really about standards and really looking at, will that live still with me in a year from now? The second thing I will do is simplifying everything. And I know that for some women I talked with, thinking about funnels, thinking about automations sounds like anything except simple. And I want you to know that this is why it is so important to actually not do this work, especially the work of mapping, by yourself, because you're going to do something that is either very basic or something that is very complicated, and basic and complicated can be happening at the same time. But simple is beautiful, simple is light, simple is grounded, simple is fun. So if I was rebuilding my entire business, I would not build sequences with 47 emails. I would not build something that takes 3 months for me to put my brain on it, or to actually start creating it, or to understand how I'm going to do the things, or just it's so complex that I have to delegate it to someone, but I don't understand what they're actually doing with it. I will not build a backend that feels like a freaking nightmare to edit. It will be something simple but powerful, simple with a clear vision. Why that? Because your team will evolve. Whoever you have on your team right now may evolve. It is a job for them. Yeah. And of course, even if we do absolutely everything that we can to build safe environment that they absolutely love, they can evolve. And so if someone in your team understands your entire backend, but you don't, and you cannot actually do anything, this is a problem. Your offers are also going to evolve. So if every time you're going to shift an offer, you have to change absolutely everything and rebuild everything from scratch, this is also a problem. If every time your messaging and yourself are going to evolve, you have to change your entire backend, this is also a problem. Because you are a woman, we evolve all the time. Our messaging evolve all the time because our work evolve all the time. We are actually being paid as entrepreneur to evolve, right? So we are always evolving. And that's why even though I use the word rebuilding here, it is an evolution. It is an evolution of your work, of what you have done, of your knowledge, your experience, your download, what you've seen. And this is what you are creating in the next iteration of your work and of your business. And if your backend is so complex that only one person can understand it, remember, it is a problem. I personally, and I'm not saying that you all have to be like this, but I'm saying this because I feel a lot of my clients are the same. I personally want to understand my backend. I want to be able to tweak it. Do I want to be the one building everything? No. Right now, no. But am I able to build everything? Of course. For me, this is a no-brainer. And I'm saying this because over a year ago, I actually had to let go of my entire team, not for positive reason, and because of their work. And I said to myself, I am going to look at everything. And I looked at my backend. It took me weeks to actually clean up the entire things. And I'm a professional in backend work, obviously. It took me weeks because there were so many tags and links and shit and so much shit everywhere. I want you to understand that as an entrepreneur, a business owner, a CEO who is scaling as fast as you are, you have to reach for simplicity. Not basic, okay, but simplicity. And for me, simplicity in a backend means modular. So for example, I could be tomorrow, which is something I have just done, by the way, let go of a massive offer, which was my signature offer for the last 4 years, my signature mastermind, let go of this and still not have to rebuild my entire backend because everything is modular. Simple, also over basic here, is going to be thinking about being strategic, being scalable. And scalable is not like in the way that everything needs to be scalable. For example, if you love serving one-to-one clients, it's not scalable. It doesn't mean that you don't have to do it, but I mean that your backend needs to be able to evolve with you. If I can't see how to adjust my backend 6 months from now without breaking everything, it is too complicated. It is too complicated. Now, my last point, the third thing I would focus on is being who I am. And who I am is the visionary of my business. I am not an employee in my business. I am the visionary of my business. And not treating front end and back end like two separate things is also going to be very helpful here. As the visionary, you have to see the vision in your business, which is not, this is my front end, this is my back end. No. Front end, by the way, is so the content, the visibility, the messaging, and back end is the funnels, the emails, the systems, the automation, the invisible strategies. And when we rebuild something, we want those two to merge and to really be focusing first on our vision. And I didn't want to say this as the point number one, because I do think that the standards needs to be number one. And then looking at what is my vision here. And so in this new iteration of my business, what do I want to be known for? What are also conversation I am leading on the front end in my content, my messaging, my emails, or whatever. And how can my backend continue this exact conversation without dropping the energy while carrying my live energy? And that's also something that I see happening so many times is women who sell with their content are like, wow, their content is so good. And then you are in their backend and you're like, ugh, that's not you anymore. That's a robot. And really looking at being the one deciding how everything is unfolding, not as let me plan everything in a number one, number two, number three, number four, because your OBM, if you have one, could do that. If you have a good VA, she could do that also from your vision, but you need to build a vision and no one else can build this for you. Your backend should not feel like a different part of your business also. So when you look at your vision, you want to see the vision of your business, and then there will be some elements that need to go into the backend and some elements that need to go into the front end. They're both merging together, and when you merge the front end and your backend, you stop rebuilding again and again and again. And especially if you keep in mind to be simple, to be modular, to be strategic and scalable, and to rebuild everything with intentionality, chef kiss. Now, if you are in a rebuild season, you don't need more information right now. You actually need to step back into your vision, but also to have support in how to bring this vision into life, not in 6 months, but now. You also don't need to learn funnels from scratch and how to click here and do this, because these are also things that you can delegate, but you need to know how to build an automation. And this is something that you already know. If you already built your business, I'm sure you already know how to build an automation. This is not the point of you learning how to build an automation, okay? And how to do like freebie 5 emails and here's your offer. No, this is not what we are doing. This is absolutely not the work I do with my clients. What you need now is to have a space where you can be that visionary and operate with higher standards, operate with simpler systems, and operate as the genius that you are, as the CEO, as the visionary of your business. And that's how I will set up for 2026, okay? And that's exactly the work we do inside Funnel Queen Mastermind in an accelerator way. This is not for someone who likes it slow, I can tell you. This is absolutely not for beginners. This is for women who are already successful selling their online offers. Funnel Queen Mastermind is for women who are already successful, who are already in their power. They know exactly what needs to happen for them next, and that's why they want to be focusing on the back end. They're already selling their offers, and it's important you already have offers, because we're not going to build those offers during the 5 weeks of Funnel Queen Mastermind. So you have your offers and now you want to sell them with your backend. And so you have this desire to build at a higher standard your backend experience. So what is happening when someone enters your world, and how are you going to be able to serve them the different offers that you have in an order that is going to make sense for them at the moment that is happening right now for them. So how do we articulate all of this? How do we articulate all of the offers you already have? Your upsells, your downsells, your fallback offer, your tripwires, your things. How do we put all of this together? But also, how are we going to sequence emails that are really powerful, really an extension of you, your brand? What is the exact order and things that we're going to do? How to implement behavior-based triggers, so we really follow clues that they are giving us by clicking on things and making sure that we are serving them. This is the work we do inside Funnel Queen Mastermind. Your backend should be doing the heavy lifting right now of selecting dream clients and presenting them the best offers for them. That means exactly where they're at right now. Vision and simplicity is what we focus on, with, of course, implementation. This is why this mastermind is 5 weeks, so that we can go deep, but also get the work done. This isn't brain masturbation. We are going to not just collect ideas together and let's see how to implement this in the next 12 months. No, this is the time we do the work. So you aren't going to leave this mastermind with some new ideas and insights. Yes, you will, but you will, on top of having your funnel done, you will live with a sales system built and ready to serve you at the highest level. Something also that you are going to feel so proud of. So proud of that when people are in your funnel, you are so proud that they are in. You know that they're going to be served. Not like, oh, is there like some broken stuff inside? And is it so complicated? And are people going to be served, or why no one is buying? No. If you had this and you're like, oh my fucking God, yes, this is absolutely what I need to be focusing on, and January 5th feels like the perfect moment for me to be doing this, send me a DM on Instagram if you have any question, or just click on the link below and book right now one of your spots, because we only have 4 spots left in VIP. And there are a few little bonuses left if you are coming right now. So send me a DM on Instagram and I can tell you already if there is still a bonus, a special bonus that is a secret. So I will only tell you if you send me a DM, if you don't know what it is. Have a wonderful day. I am so excited already of just knowing the powerful women who have already joined Funnel Queen Mastermind. There's already a dozen of women inside, which is absolutely amazing. And I want to keep this intimate for you to have the maximum support. So send me a DM if you have any question, or just book your spot. I will close enrollment as soon as we are full. Bye, everyone.